Hello and welcome to Tech Tips. In this video we're going to show you how to mine Electronium. So the first thing we want to do is set up our wallet. To do that, go to my.electronium.com. There click create account and go through all the steps that there are. Now you might want to pause the video at this point because there are about 5 or 6 steps and it could take up to 10 minutes to do everything. And you will need access to both a mobile phone for SMS authentication and your email account for authorizing the emails as they come in. Once you've finished making your wallet, this is the page that you'll be presented with. So in the top left hand corner, just make sure that you click on Manage Wallet if you're not already there. And as you see on the right hand side in the red text, that is the public wallet address. Now this is where you will be mining to. So this is your public address, but with the Electronium wallet you have other addresses that are private for spending and viewing your balances. Okay, so the next step is to download our actual miner. For this we're going to use the XMR stack miner. Now this is an all-in-one, so it will do your CPU and your graphics card automatically. So if you go to this website, I will put this in the description. And what we want to do is download the XMR stack win64.zip. Okay, so now we've downloaded that, the first thing we need to do is to allow our downloads folder as an exception in the Windows antivirus. To do that, click on Start and then Settings, and then Update and Security, and then Windows Defender, and then as we scroll down you'll see you have exceptions. Add an exclusion there. So as you can see, I've already added C users administrator downloads, and to do that let's click exclude a folder above it, and that will then allow you to choose this location. Okay, so now we're on the actual machine that we're going to use for mining. So first thing we want to do is open up Notepad, just make it easier for in a moment. In that Notepad write Monero, the pool name as it's written there and will also be in the description, and then paste in the address for your actual wallet. Then double click on XMR stack to actually load the program and start the mining. Once that's started, here we can actually put in a bit of information. So if you go back to your notepad, we'll copy and paste Monero and put that into here and press enter. Then get the pool address that we added, copy and paste that. Then finally, if you copy and paste your wallet address and put that in, that's the main information we need. Now for the next things, just put X for password, and then for the next 3 options press N for no and then enter. And that's basically it. The miner is now actually working. We're going to make a few changes, and one thing we need to make sure is that HW lock memory pinned is actually written there, because that gives us a little bit better hash rate. So for now, just press Ctrl C a couple of times on your keyboard or press X to close the miner. Then double click the config text file. We'll have a look at there just to see what information we have. So there's a lot of information here, but pool list, this is probably the important thing that you're going to see first. That's our pool address, then we have our wallet address, then we have the password and other information. Now we can set up a worker ID, and to do that, at the end of your address, just put an @ sign and then type whatever you want the worker to be called. So I'll call mine server 1 or call it server 11 or whatever you want to call it, so you know in your worker list which server this is. Now if we scroll down, the next important bit is large page support. Having that enabled will give us potentially a much better hash rate. So what we need to do, you'll see there's options 1 to 9. So if I highlight those, what we need to do is just go through those. So maybe pause the video now, go through all of those, make sure they're all done, restart the machine, and then come back to this point in the video. Okay, once that's done, delete the word warn and write never. So what will happen here is when we actually load the miner, if it's not using large pages, it will then stop straight away and you know there's an error. But if it is using large pages, it will just carry on working and it will get that HW lock memory pinned. So we know now that it's using large pages, which will give us a better hash rate. Okay, so next we need to go into CPU. So here you'll have a list of all the processors that you have. As you can see there, my list is 11 processors there. That's because I'm currently using a virtual machine that I have assigned 11 processors to. Now this is where things get a little bit complicated. So let's say for instance you had 24 processors. Well, that's probably going to be 12 cores with 24 threads. Now what you don't want to do is use up all 24. You want to make sure you're only using the actual cores. So in this instance you would delete all the odd numbers. So you keep 0 and then go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc, etc. That way you'd only use the actual cores, and this would maximise your hash rate. Okay, now that's done, double click the XMR stat and basically just leave it. This will now sit here running and do whatever it needs to do, and there's little bits of information you can actually get from this. You'll also see in the top right there as well, as you see from mine, the processor is now 100% as I'm using all 11 cores. Now in order to see what your actual hash rate is, you need to press the H key on your keyboard. Now at the moment, as it's only just started, we probably won't get that much information and the hash rate will probably look pretty low. Now as you can see here, mine is currently running at 190 hashes a second. And then also you have a list there of all the processors, and it tells you the last 10 seconds hash rate, 60 seconds and 15 minutes. Now this hash rate will normally go up the longer it's there. So you come back in sort of half an hour, have a look, see what hash rate you're getting. It'll probably be a lot higher than what you got, say 15 seconds in. Now after a little while, what you will notice is that you'll get a lot of new blocks and difficulty will go up and down, and then you'll get a result that says result accepted by the pool, just as mine says there. Every time you get one of those, that is a share that you have submitted to the pool. Okay, so now we're going to actually have a look at the pool and see how our hash rate is actually doing. So if you go to etn.spacepools.org, you'll get to this website. So what you want to do is open Notepad once again and paste in your wallet address so we can actually see what you're doing. Now on this pool, as you can see here, you've got on the left hand column, this is this actual pool's stats. So you've got the pool's hash rate, last block found, connected miners, pool dev fee, and obviously roughly how long every block is found. The middle column you've got the actual whole Electronium network, so hash rate, block found, etc. And on the right hand side you've got some basic information about how the actual coin is doing. So it's up 35% in the last 24 hours but down 4.7% the last hour. So now if you copy and paste your address, then go to the actual input bar there and paste it in there and hit lookup, this will give you the information how you're actually mining on that particular pool. So the information we have here is pending balance and then total paid. So your pending balance, that will slowly rise while you're mining. Once that goes over 10, it will then transfer over into your total paid. So it's about every 10 coins, that's when you actually get paid from this particular pool. Sometimes you might notice it's 11, 12, depending on how quickly you're actually mining. Underneath that you have your hash rate, but as it says, this value is not accurate. This is a rough estimate. By pressing H in your miner, that is where you'll get the most accurate representation of your hash rate. Now once you do start getting paid, these payments will be at the bottom of the screen there. Now if you decided to actually add a worker name, say if you've got 4 or 5 servers, you can go to workers at the top, click on that, and input your wallet address again there and hit lookup. This will give you a full list and the hash rate of all of your workers. So I've only got one at the moment, and it's called that server 11, and it's got rough estimation of my hash rate. But if you have loads more, they'll be in a big list underneath there. And that's pretty much it. If you press on home, you can then just periodically, maybe once a week, twice a week, just checking your balance just to make sure everything's going through okay. What I suggest is checking your miner every couple of days to make sure everything's all working fine. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more tech tips.